Hello and welcome to Revolution Online. Today we're in Paris on the Place Vendôme and we're going to take a thorough and deep look at the very top end of the watchmaking world. We're going to listen to minute repeating watches. A minute repeater is a watch that tells time with its hands, but also with sound. Well, actually, not just sound, it's music really. A minute repeater is one of the most sophisticated watches you can imagine, and this is for one simple reason. The complication in itself is extremely delicate and not many brands know how to master it, assemble it, and make it sound good. The quality of a minute repeater depends on four key components. The first one is the gong. The gong is made of metal in a special alloy, most of the time kept secret. It's heat that will produce the initial sound. Second, the hammers. They're like a violin's bow. They hit the gongs to make them resonate just like strings. Third of all, here's the most undervalued of all components. It's the case itself, because the case is the violin, it is the instrument. The fourth key component is sometimes the least regarded of all. It's called the regulator. It's the component that dictates the chiming speed. It's a noisy piece that should be kept as quiet as possible. So we at Revolution Online are going to treat these watches for what they really are, music instruments. We're going to listen to them and record them. Try to define their personality, their groove, their texture. To what end? We're going to appraise them and we're going to rank them. And now it is time to introduce our contestants. You know how they say you have to try before you buy? Well, in the case of minute repeaters, you can't really do that. Having more than two at the same time is almost impossible. Plus, remembering the exact sound qualities of each watch after 2 days when the environment has completely changed is next to infeasible. Fortunately, the recordings are here to help us. And in order to rate the watches, we're going to use our own personal, portable recording studio. We're going to use a high-end microphone dedicated to musical instruments. We're going to use this digital recorder, and we're going to use the box. This wooden box has been soundproofed. It's not perfect, but it creates a common ground, homogeneous conditions for all the watches, because they should be treated on an equal footing. We believe that these watches should be listened to while on the wrist, and this is exactly what we're going to do. I will wear the watch, place my hand inside the box, trigger the minute repeater mechanism, and this is how we're going to record the watch. This is the Bulgari Daniel Roth Carillon Tourbillon. It's a brand new watch, it's just been released, and the minute repeater is very special because, unlike many others, it has 3 hammers, so it can chime the quarters with 3 different notes. And it's in the box. Agreed, the Bulgari isn't the loudest watch. Its impacts are not very impressive, and neither is the overall loudness. But the notes remain in the ear for a very long time and resonate. An impressive amount of harmonics create a complex and sophisticated sound, not the most audible but excellently managed and tuned. I am now holding a Chokron Admiral's Cup 45 minute repeater tourbillon. So what's so special about this watch? First of all, it has a tourbillon. Second of all, it's made of titanium. The case is very, very light and it should convey the sound in a very special manner. The other specificity is that it's not activated by a slide on the side of the case, but directly via the bezel. and it's in the box. The impacts of the hammers on the gongs create an initially powerful sound, but the lack of resonance of the case is patent. The notes tend to drop very quickly. There are many harmonics in appearance, but they're not loud enough to generate support for the main note. Also, the sound personality is metallic. The Girard-Perregaux 1966 minute repeater is the simplest watch of our selection. It has no tourbillon, no perpetual calendar, no other complication than the minute repeater itself. It's also one of the simplest movements of its kind, with only 317 components. And it's not easy being simple at that level of complication. And the GP is in the box. With powerful impacts and a loud sound but little persistence, the Girard-Perregaux has the same syndrome as the Chokron. An interesting amount of frequencies are activated, especially in a high-medium range. They contribute to a quite high but good sound. This is a Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Grande Tradition Grande Complication caliber 945. It's got a flying tourbillon, celestial map, many things, including one of the most sophisticated minute repeaters mechanisms you can imagine. And there it is. The Jaeger is very loud, and it takes its time. Each note has long finished ringing before the next one starts. Every note is clear and distinct. The sound is full and rich, with many harmonics, spread perfectly throughout the spectrum. Its complexity is nevertheless slightly damaged by a very present regulator. Let me introduce you to the Vacheron Constantin Patrimonie Traditionnelle caliber 2755, mostly known as the 2755. It's got a tourbillon at 6 o'clock, it's got a perpetual calendar, and of course the minute repeater. The construction is quite simple and traditional, but it is very efficient sound-wise. And the Vacheron is in the box too. Loud and clear, the Vacheron exemplifies what a resonating case allows. Excellent length, supported by an impeccable timing. An incredible amount of harmonics, perfectly separated, create a rich and warm sound with a crystal quality. And now it is time for our minute repeaters top 3. Our number 3 is... The Bulgari Carillon Tourbillon shows that intensity, once it's enough, is not everything. Actually, with a little more power, it would probably have won the contest. Its 3 hammers strike in turn at every quarter and sound rich, long, and are full of harmonic resonances. It's a big surprise, especially considered the lenient price tag. We also have a clear number 2. The GGR Master Grande Tradition, Grande Complication sounds really loud, incredibly so, and the graphs prove it. But it's coming a close second, mostly due to a grating background regulator noise. It's close to perfection, rich and intense, but its music is slightly less full and delicate as our winners. But the watch we believe has performed the best among all our contestants is our number 1, which is the Vacheron 2755 is of classical construction, and the watch is made of platinum, which isn't supposed to help its sounding loud. But loud it is, and its intensity is supported by full, long and warm sound. It does stand out, especially by its staggering price.